a girl
and her gay watch the Magic School Bus.
It's the show where we yap about life, science, and go on an occasional rant about the state of the world. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Matt. We're your hosts, and we're here to invite you to our weekly yap sesh, bring you some 90s and 2000s nostalgia, and maybe teach you a little science.
Every Wednesday, we're hopping on the Magic School Bus, unpacking the science without the pressure of a pop quiz, and I'll be asking the questions I was too bored or afraid to ask in school.
Curiosity leads.
Chaos follows.
Welcome back, everybody. Today we are talking about Season 1, Episode 13, Magic School Bus Kicks Up a Storm. It is the last episode in Season 1.
Crazy.
How the time has flown.
Hasn't it just?
Sarah, before we recap this episode, I have a little story to talk about. Relates to the topic of today's episode.
Okay, talk to me, Goose.
So this is one of my on my list of mortifications, the ones you go through at night before bed.
Yeah.
So when I was a young lad, I believe it was 6th grade. One of the units of science class was weather.
Mm-hmm.
And Mr. Gulick,
What a name. Okay.
Yeah, great name. And, I was a little science nerd, already by that point.
Mm-hmm.
And so one day I am in my English language arts class and talking with my English teacher. And I'm like, I love science, but Mr. Gulick just takes everything so slowly. I get kind of bored. And then later on in science class, Mr. Gulick is doing his business and comes and leans over to me and says, I'll try to speed things up for you in the next unit. And I pooped my pants.
Yo, whoa.
So I don't know.
Betrayal of trust?
Yeah. I don't know if I was tattled on. I don't know. We had those weird, not real walls that were
I've heard about those.
fabric. I don't think I was screaming, but I don't know if I was overheard.
Your English teacher betrayed you.
And I was horribly embarrassed.
Yeah. No, that is absolutely mortifying. Oh my God. How have you even managed to recover? I feel like your cheeks have gotten pink just talking about this.
Yeah, it was horrifying to me.
Okay. Well, first of all, it's not your shame to bear. I hope your English teacher who absolutely outed you lies awake at night thinking about how they betrayed the trust of a 6th grader. That's crazy. Also, Mr. Gulick, why are you even acknowledging it?
Right. Why are you so upset that a 6th grader?
Right.
And
no, I don't like that.
He was a gifted child academically.
Brag
So
about
it. It probably was too slow of an instruction for me.
Yeah.
But
and I think even if you're not a gifted child, a lot of times it is too slow generally. Kids' attentions are pretty speedy, especially now. But even then, keep it pushing. There's a reason we don't do lecture halls for 6-year-olds. It just doesn't work.
So, but there were probably students in the class who needed, more time spent on particular concepts. And I just was a little kid. I didn't understand that. I just was oh, my experience is everyone's experience here.
Sure.
So, but yeah, it lives with me to this day.
That's so funny. Yikes. Okay. Well, I would encourage you to start working on letting that go. We're 34, but take all the time you need to heal.
I don't know that it really still sticks with you on a day to day, but it just came to mind when we were talking about weather because
yeah, but now that you've told me, I will be sure to remind you.
Remember that time you?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So good. Well, thank you for sharing, Matt. That's really brave of you. And I'm sorry that happened. Do you want to tell the people what we just watched? Because I have questions.
Yeah. So I was telling Sarah before we started the watch through together. This is one of my favorite episodes. I really enjoy it.
I actually liked the episode, I think, more than the majority that we've seen. So really, this one was captivating in a way
the
that
bus is doing fun magic stuff. It's very high action, but also pretty thoughtful in the way that they incorporate the learning.
Yeah.
The Foley artist does just enough.
It's still a little over the top, but nothing gross. I like rain sounds and thunder sounds, not scuttling There's been too many bug sounds.
Scuttling.
Okay.
So start off the episode, they're in a heat wave. It's super hot. And they're like, oh my God, it's terrible. Liz is like bathing under a shower to try and keep cool, which is really super cute because there's like a ongoing background little bit with her getting the water shut off and getting grumpy. But so they're like lamenting this. Ralphie brings up the idea of weatherman who creates the weather and that he is weatherman.
Got
And he
really
could,
bulky there for a
yeah,
second in his vision. Strong boy.
and he could even make a thunderstorm. And Keisha is not buying it. Well, they go on their little field trip to explore the weather, and Miss Frizzle has sent Ralphie and Liz ahead to get him dressed up in his weatherman costume and prep the bus. And she just hands over the keys to this magical school bus with no instruction to a child, wherein he fiddles with the three elements of weather that they are discussing, which is heat, water, and air. And he turns them into air and then water droplets, and then they rain. And then he ultimately creates a thunderstorm, which temporarily shakes him because he feels like it's gotten out of control. But they get rained out of the thunderstorm and captured by Carlos's rain catcher, and they end up at the school.
Safe and sound. Took it a little seedy there for a second. And I
Mm.
don't like, he became a little manic.
Yeah, he went real mad scientist when he was trying to create that thunderstorm. He was cackling.
Yeah, like the
And
typical trope of like, you give a man an inch and he will take a mile when it comes to power. Like, it was really maniacal, I
yeah,
fear.
yeah.
But pretty cool though. Pretty cool. I do love the very second that I was like, I don't understand where wind comes from.
They were like, do, 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 do,
Yeah,
wind.
immediately they broke it down into like a little quiet aside of like, this is where wind comes from. And I'm like, oh, thank God. I've never really understood it. Like it just exists. It does just exist, but it is created through a process. That makes sense to me.
Do you want to tell the people what you learned?
Okay, so
For
I
those who might not
learned,
know where wind comes from?
sure, maybe you should tell them because I feel like I'm going to mess it up. Okay, so what was it? The warm air rises, and so
Mhm.
something needs to take its place, and so cool air like swoops in to like fill its space, and then so it's just this sort of like circular, cyclical kind of situation.
Yeah,
Did
great.
I mess it up?
Great.
Thank you.
It,
It's great.
yeah, we generally say that air travels from areas of high pressure. No, yeah, high pressure to low pressure.
Okay, well, let's start there because we didn't get into it in the episode. But what are the pressures? I hear it all the time, being a headachy girly. Like, oh, the pressures were all. What is it?
Yeah. So high pressure days are going to be your clear, sunshiny, clouds are way up in the atmosphere days.
Mm-hmm.
And then low pressure days are
Is that true? I feel that, like in my brain, that would have been the opposite. If the clouds are low, I feel like it would create a higher pressure. If the clouds are high, it would
no, they're
create a
being
lower pressure.
pressed.
I guess. I'm thinking like if the clouds are the roof, all the pressure needs to exist between me and the clouds, but the clouds aren't the roof, it's just the atmosphere.
Yeah. And if the pressure is high, it's pushing up on the clouds.
Okay.
Low pressure is going to be your cloudier days, typically associated with rainstorms and those types of things.
Interesting. Okay. So where is the pressure coming from? What is the pressure?
Yeah. So high pressure systems are because of that hot, warmed up air rising, right? So it rises, that's high pressure. The falling air is low pressure. It's because that cooled, denser air is falling. And then the boundary of where you have like hot and cold airs meeting, so where high and low pressure are meeting with one another, is often where you get, like your thunderstorms and those kinds of things because you've
Okay.
got that drastic difference.
Sure, that makes sense. Okay. So going back to the basics, they talked about the three ingredients that make
Mhm.
weather: air, water, and heat. Is it really that simple? I mean, they brought up land later on and how it's an influencer. What other influencers might there be if it's not like strictly an ingredient?
Yeah. So I would say that it really is kind of that simple. I mean, it is and it isn't, right? In that, like,
Just like
there,
everything else.
yes.
If I've learned anything throughout this, it is and it isn't that simple.
It is and it isn't that simple. That's going to be on our t-shirts.
Yeah.
The girl and her gay watch. It is and it isn't that simple. No, so sorry, what was the question?
Ingredients versus influencers.
Yeah, I would say the biggest driver of weather on Earth is the sun. Okay. And the sun heating up the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And then various systems within the Earth want to dissipate that heat because of entropy. And that is what sort of drives all of our weather. So, like, ocean currents are a big influencer of weather, but they are a direct result of uneven heating at the equator and then all of that warm water needing to go somewhere. And then cooler water at the poles sort of funneling itself back in. So, like an area I think we've talked about before, like the UK,
Mm-hmm.
latitudinally is on the same latitude lines as like Canada, but is significantly warmer than Canada is because there's a warm current that dumps out like
Mm-hmm.
right off the coast there. And so all that warm, moist air gets pushed there.
Mm-hmm.
And also kind of explains their more rainy weather, right? Because they have a lot of moisture coming off that ocean.
That makes sense. We talked a little bit about the first ingredient, air, and
Mhm.
wind and movement. Heat. Let's talk about heat and the sun's influence for a second. Can you, and this is not a weather specific question, and I can't believe I haven't asked it yet during this, but why does heat rise?
Mm-hmm. Great question. This is like a really good capstone question for the season, I feel,
Okay.
or at least more of our most recent ones, because it comes down to chemistry.
Right.
And so when things are warm, they have more energy and they vibrate faster. And because of that, they like bounce off of each other. And so they expand and take up more space.
Mm-hmm.
And so because they're taking up more space, they become less dense because the same amount of molecules are there, but they're just occupying more space. So they're less dense. Dense things will rise and more dense things will fall.
Is that why I float in the ocean, but my muscly brother sinks?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
more dense than me.
Well, right. And women generally, have a thin layer of subcutaneous fat that
Thin-ish.
men don't
Thin.
have.
Adjacent to
And
thin.
so even just that thin layer of subcutaneous fat on you is going to make you a little less dense and more buoyant.
Okay, I'll take it.
It's also why, like, if you are swimming in a lake versus the ocean, it is harder to float
Mm,
in a lake because the lake is freshwater.
right.
It's not as dense as salt water.
True. I mean, even we obviously have said 1,000 times, live in the mid-Atlantic. We've been in the Atlantic Ocean a million times.
Mhm.
The difference between my ability to maneuver in the water around here, like
Oh,
just
yeah.
actually swim and like, oh, there's something funky on the floor. Let me dive down and get it and then come back up. Versus the Caribbean, I can't even get my whole body under the water
Yeah.
most days in the Caribbean. It's
Yeah.
just so salty.
Yeah, it is. And you can taste the difference when you get it in your mouth.
And your
You're like,
eyes taste the difference.
yeah.
Your skin tastes the difference.
The first time I jumped into a lake,
You
I
just
like
sank.
full on was like, I've been in the water my whole life.
Yeah.
I near about died because I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, like it is so much harder to like
Yeah.
swim up.
Yeah. Actual like pools that have an actual deep end. I don't really mess with them. Okay. So that I wanted to ask about heat rising, I guess just as like a final confirmation on that, how it influences the air. So
Yeah.
if we didn't have the sun in the way that we have the sun, we obviously wouldn't have weather in the way that we have the weather. And I want
Absolutely.
to ask about water first, but then I want to talk about other planets. Because given these three ingredients, I don't understand how weather happens on other planets, but let's
Yeah.
hang tight. Okay, so water. I think we all remember from elementary school the little rain cycle graph, right? But I don't understand how clouds, first of all, clouds are just water.
Yeah.
I wanted to use a better word of like the state of water. It's like a fine, misty.
Yeah. A
Okay.
mist.
Why
Water
do
vapor.
clouds vapor? Great. Love that. Why do clouds stick together? Why can I see like this is a cloud and then
Mhm.
there's sky and then like this is a cloud?
Yeah. So it is through a property of water called adhesion.
Oh, we talked about that.
No, sorry, that's a lie. Not
Oh,
adhesion, cohesion.
okay, well, we talked about that too.
Yes, same general principle. When things cohere, it is two things of the same thing sticking together. Adhesion is two different things. So yes, the cohesion, when the water molecules in the air bump into one another, they stick together, and so they form clouds.
Okay, quickly. What's your favorite type of cloud?
Um, my initial reaction was cumulonimbus, but I think that is just the one that comes to mind
Everyone knows that one.
immediately. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do. I think they're like not as dramatic and cool, but like I think cirrus clouds are kind of cool.
Are those the
Like
wispy
the
ones?
wispy boys.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I need a clouds refresher.
Yeah.
Maybe we can
Should
pull up
we
a little graph
pull up
and talk through
types of
them.
cloud?
Absolutely. I know we're talking about water, but I feel like that is the ingredient in cloud.
Guide to the sky.
Beautiful.
All right. Yeah. So I've pulled up a picture of some clouds because I feel
Mhm.
like this is a visual situation. Sorry
Yeah.
for those who just listen. You'll have to imagine them in your mind. So I like this picture because it sorts them based on like where they tend to hang out in the sky.
Yeah.
So we have our low level clouds up to 2,000 meters, and that is our stratus, our nimbostratus,
Mhm.
cumulus, stratocumulus,
Okay.
and cumulonimbus.
Mhm.
So your cumulus and your cumulonimbus are your rain clouds mostly,
Mhm.
and maybe also your nimbus stratus. But like when you think of like the big puffy, beautiful clouds, those are most often your stratocumulus.
Yeah, I think those are my favorite. It just means a good day.
Yeah,
You know?
it's a good
They're
day.
just
High pressure,
puffy,
puffy
cloud
white.
watching, beautiful.
Yeah. And then we move up and we have our mid level,
Mhm.
and those are 2,000 to 6,000 meters. And those are just your altostratus and altocumulus. And you'll notice as we go up in height, the clouds get less defined.
Yeah.
And I believe that is because of the less pressure in the upper
Oh,
atmosphere.
that
So
makes sense.
there's, you know,
They're, like, free to be.
yeah, a little more loosey goosey.
Okay.
Um, and then high level, you have your cirrostratus above 6,000 meters, cirrocumulus, and then cirrus. And we talk
Okay.
about cirrus, the wispy boys and girls.
And girls and they thems.
Your stratocumulus or cumulonimbus can really run the gamut.
I do like them when they are very tall and columny.
Yes, that thunderhead, as
Yeah.
as we call it.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I think I think stratocumulus for me is the most ideal
Mm,
cloud,
uh-huh.
but if there is a storm coming, I love to see a big, tall cumulonimbus because then it's gonna be a quality storm. I think, and when I was down in the Outer Banks last week, oh my gosh, we had the best first night thunderstorm. The
Oh,
weather was really hot, but, like, perfect the rest of the week, and it's just oh my gosh, the first night, huge, tall columns of clouds, you can see them, like, rolling in across the ocean,
mm,
a crazy cloud to ground lightning, big thunder roars, and like a heavy intentional rain.
yeah.
Chef's kiss.
I love a thunderstorm that does just enough, but not too much.
Okay. Like not too much as in
Like I don't need hail or
and
tornadoes.
I want to talk about hail and also tornadoes and other weird weather anomalies, but yes, where it's like it's heavy and intentional, but it's not threatening.
Yeah. Hmm.
Please don't try to kill me, but also make your presence known. I hate like a piddly little rain or like a meek thunder over there, no lightning. No, if you're going to
Hmm.
do it, do it.
I miss, and I don't think if it just is like a memory fallacy situation.
Mm.
I feel like we used to in the summers around here get a lot more what we colloquially call heat lightning.
Mhm.
I used to love that shit because
Yeah.
like it was the light show of lightning without the scare of lightning. Because I was pretty afraid of thunderstorms as a child, and then I kind of grew out of it, and I've started to notice that fear creep back in.
Interesting. Okay.
But I think as a child, it was sort of like the fear of the unknown, and now as an adult, it's a little bit of like we're more and more seeing tornadoes, and like it's just more of the fear of like severe
Yeah.
weather being harmful.
I was reading an article the other day about how Tornado Alley has shifted significantly.
Mm. My coworker today was talking about how they've been having more tornadoes up in Wisconsin where she lives, and I was like,
Yeah, I'll have to
yikes.
send it to you because that's, I mean, we've gotten more tornadoes in the last 5 years in the mid Atlantic than we have in the last 20. Like, it's very
Mm.
interesting.
And they're still usually pretty weak
Mm,
tornadoes, but like
right.
still damaging.
Still damaging, and like something that would have been a once in a lifetime thing happens now multiple times a year. Like,
Yeah.
it's fascinating. Okay. Thank you for the cloud
Yeah.
show. Yay.
Cloud.
So now let's talk. Okay, so we're on clouds and
Uh,
water. So we know the rain cycle situation. We know that the water vapor is the cloud. I don't understand how clouds can be, thousands of tons and still up there, just existing. Explain that.
yeah. So they be floating.
Yeah, and I can see that. But what I can't see is why.
Yeah. So I think it's a combination of factors, right? Like in anything, right? The float is related to its buoyancy. So because clouds are um pretty lightly because clouds are pretty light. They're not dense, right? Sorry, that's what I was like trying to think of. Because clouds are pretty dense,
Okay.
they are able to be held aloft by the air, basically. So that warm air pushing up from the earth is able to hold them up in space.
Even
Up
though they
in
are very cold.
yeah, yeah. So I mean,
Okay.
they're gonna at a certain point, right? There's gonna be a critical mass situation where they stop being light enough that water will
Okay.
form ice crystals and then fall as rain.
Okay. If a cloud just if science glitched and a whole cloud just fell.
Fog.
Oh, okay. Never mind. Got it. Okay. Really?
Yeah,
Where'd
fog's
all the
just
ice go?
fog's just cloud.
But where's the ice? Where's the ice crystals that are
Well,
up in
it's too
there?
low. So there's like the upper atmosphere is cold.
No, but that's science not glitching. What I clearly said was if science glitched and like I could just Photoshop IRL, just like a whole cloud and put it on the ground, would I be able to like walk through it? Would it be very resistant to me? Would it cut me?
No. So I think that the clouds are not ice.
Right.
I think clouds are water. I think they only become ice when that water vapor condenses to a point where it can freeze. Because
Okay.
clouds are just collections of water vapor. They're not like water, like a puddle, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
They are water in its gaseous form that is just associating with one another.
Okay.
So, in order to freeze and make ice crystals, there has to be enough water there that they are condensing, and then
Which,
it's going to rain.
right. So if one of those,
Like, as it's condensing,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, that's how you get snow or sleet. So snow
Hmm.
is what forms, and then when it's cold, it's able to fall the whole way as snow.
Right.
Sleet is when it starts to snow, falls, melts, and then refreezes before it hits the ground. So there's like
Right.
a layer of warm air that it passes through.
I remember that from my chart. What about hail?
Hail.
Big, giant lacrosse ball size hail.
So
What's
I
up with
think
that?
so hail is caused by the updrafts. Remember how in the episode they
Hmm.
were showing like the water literally going up?
Right.
That is what causes hail. So it's rain that has started to fall in big drops. But then because of the strong updrafts gets forced back upward where it refreezes and then falls again.
So, and it can do that cycle and build and build and
Yeah.
build until it's too heavy for the updraft.
Yeah.
That makes sense that in
Or
more
can't melt enough to
severe
fall.
storms, the hail is larger because
Yeah.
it can do that cycle more and more. Interesting. Damn. How long does that process take?
It's a great question.
For like,
Mm.
yeah, like a golf ball size hail, how many times do we think it needs to do this cycle? Because it's only a little bit being added on time and time.
So I wasn't able to find time,
Yeah, that's
but
niche.
I did find that it requires wind speeds well over 100 miles per hour to stay
Whoa.
suspended long enough to grow golf or softball size hail.
Okay. Crazy.
So, yeah.
That's really intense, man. That's
Uh,
really
uh,
intense. What other weird weather anomalies are there? Like we've got tornadoes. I don't understand how a tornado begins. I understand how
mhm.
it sustains, but I don't understand what's happening that that freaky deaky spiral comes down first and foremost.
Yeah. So my understanding with our tornadoes is that it is where hot and cold air mix. It creates this like spin
Mm,
from the air, like mixing, like it's rising and falling. And so it like sort of creates this spin, which I think you see sort of forms in the clouds and then they eventually can touch down if that
yeah.
spinning is sustained enough based on the like disparate nature of the two air temperatures mixing.
Okay. How about hurricanes? I understand that they come off the west coast of Africa and scooch up through the Caribbean and
Mhm.
into the east coast of the States. How are those starting?
Yeah, so they're starting at the equator because of the intense sunlight that that area gets, creating a lot of evaporation and putting a lot of moisture into the atmosphere.
Mm.
And that happens to varying degrees, right? So you get tropical storms, you can have just normal storms, all the way up to hurricane. And it just depends on if the conditions are right for them to continue to absorb water. So that's why you'll often see, depending on the path of a hurricane, they can be stronger or more intense. Once they make landfall, they typically weaken very quickly because they can no
Sure.
longer absorb more water. But because they're traveling over that big stretch of ocean, they're just constantly picking up water that is evaporating and then it's got to come out. And
And they
so,
they grow in warm water, right?
yes.
So that's why hurricane season is like late summer, early fall when the water is the warmest because it can
Yeah.
actually feed itself.
Mhm.
Otherwise, we would just have hurricanes all the time.
Yeah, and I think they do. I think we in the United States have a particular hurricane season, but I
Sure.
assume in the, like Pacific hurricanes are probably opposite.
Typhoon season? Typhoons?
Yeah, I think that's what they call them.
Mm. Okay. Interesting. What other weird weather?
Weird weather. Thunder snow is fun.
Thunder snow is fun. Okay. I want to talk about lightning also, because I really thought you were going to say when I asked you earlier what other ingredients or influencers are there. I thought you were going to say electricity,
Mm.
but like, is
Yeah,
lightning technically weather?
I mean, it's definitely part of weather. I think it's more of an effect of weather than an
Yeah.
actual thing. Yeah. So lightning, because of all of that stuff up in the atmosphere vibrating and rubbing against each other,
Mm, like a
and
whorehouse.
yeah, it generates an electrical charge. And when that charge becomes sufficient enough that there's like a really strong charge that needs to dissipate, it then essentially strikes the ground. Like it's like, I got to get out of here and neutralize myself. And so it hits the ground,
Okay.
which has, whatever opposite charge. I think it's negative to positive, and I think ground is generally like positively charged.
Okay.
But it could be the other way around. It doesn't really matter. It's just that it's opposite, right?
Sure. Sure. Okay. Can we talk about some hypotheticals as we round up on our time here?
Sure.
Okay. So, what
God was one
if,
of us, just a stranger on the bus, trying to make his way home.
what if, not acknowledging that, I will not dignify that with a response. Okay. What if the earth didn't spin? Would we still have, I'm not even going to finish that sentence. Doesn't make any sense. What if the earth didn't spin?
Mhm. Yeah, so great question. If the Earth didn't spin, we would still have weather.
Hmm.
It would behave differently than like the patterns we see now,
Hmm.
but there would still be uneven heating of the Earth.
Mm.
And so that heat causing things to move around would still generate.
Okay. So the earth, hold on. This might get cut. So if the earth didn't spin, so that the spinning is our 24-hour cycle, right? but it still
Mm.
rotated, which is our year cycle.
Mm-hmm.
So half the world would be in sun at any given point, and the other half
Yep.
would be in darkness.
Yep.
So that would be a big problem.
It would be bad. Yes.
Really bad, I'd say. I'd say pretty bad.
There would probably be very little habitable land on Earth
Yeah.
because the side that did not get sun would be frozen.
You think that would happen in 6 months?
Well, no, if it didn't spin, only one side of the Earth would ever face the sun.
No. If my fingernail is Earth, look at it. And this is sun. Now my fingernail gets no sun. Now my fingernail gets half sun. Now full sun. Now half sun. Now no sun. So I'm going to keep doing this until you acknowledge that I'm correct.
I
Sun.
don't think
Half sun. How is it incorrect? Tell me how it's incorrect.
my understanding of tidally locked planets, which are ones that don't have a spin, is that the same side faces the whole time.
Then it would have to rotate.
No, because it's an orbit.
Then it's rotating.
I don't think so.
You've not convinced me. Because in order, like, I have to spin in order to keep sun on one side of something the entire time. I can't.
Yeah, yeah. I think there are planets though where, and maybe it's because their
Like, the
rotation.
face of them is locked on the sun.
Yes, and maybe that's because that's where their rotation is so slow that it maps perfectly.
Sure.
But yeah, in your scenario where we're rotating and half the year one side is facing the Earth and half the year the other side is facing the Earth, it would still become blisteringly cold in that 6 months on the side that wasn't facing Earth
Okay.
because the daily warming cycle of the Earth is so important. It would have that heat immediately starts to dissipate at night, would continue. So,
Okay.
and at the same time, the side that's getting all that sun would be, I don't think the Earth would be habitable.
I
The
wouldn't.
oceans might redistribute some of that heat to the colder parts, but I don't think that
Yeah.
they would be able to do it efficiently enough. And because it's constantly changing, 6 months of hot, 6 months of cold, I
Like,
feel
hot
yeah. Not
and
just
cold. Yeah.
warm, but
Yeah.
hot. I just don't
No.
think it would be livable.
We'd have to be a strongly migratory species, playing in those center spaces of
Yes, in
we're
the
over here, we're
barrier.
over here. Yeah. Fascinating. Okay. Does the fact that we have weather in the way that we do, is that proof enough that the Earth is round? If the Earth were flat, I'll ask it another way. If the Earth were flat, could we have the weather that we have now?
If the Earth were flat, I don't think so. I don't think it would follow the same patterns. Even if the Earth was a flat disk orbiting the sun, well,
Mhm.
and see, it wouldn't spin. Yeah, there's just no way that that would work. Because, even if it was flat and the people who, think the sun is just, doing this around the,
Mhm.
it, yeah, that's a no for me, dog.
All right.
I can't fathom how it would work.
I'll take it. Can we talk about weather on other planets? So we have our
We
three
can.
ingredients: water, heat, and air. I guess I'm a little stuck on air as we know it because our air is so dependent on our atmosphere. And we have water. Other planets don't have water. And yet on other planets it'd still be storming.
Yeah.
Just with heat and air.
So, and that's why I said sort of in the beginning, the uneven heating is the most important element there, right? Obviously water and air weather. And I
Our weather.
do
Yeah.
think that you still need air, but air
Sure.
can be a lot of things, right? You need gases. And so Mars gets windstorms, for
Yeah.
example, because they do have an atmosphere, no liquid water. And I think that's the other important thing that's probably relevant to note is liquid water, not just, ice, but there has to be liquid water.
Okay. So does
So
it storm on Neptune? Neptune's all ice, right? Am I lying? It's Neptune ice.
Neptune, I think you might be thinking,
What's the blue one? I
that's
just assumed it
Neptune.
was
It's
blue
out
because it
there.
was icy.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. I mean, I know famously Jupiter,
Yeah. So Jupiter has its
that like ongoing storm that just,
perpetual hurricane.
yeah,
That's crazy. And it's
it's
like
wild.
so big. How big is it? How big is that storm?
Like something like 500 Earths could fit into it or something
That's so
insane.
scary. I thought it was like 2.
No, I wildly overestimated it.
Okay.
It's between 1 and 1.3 Earths.
Okay. So like still
The whole Earth.
so big.
Yeah.
And like Jupiter is like 500 Earths.
Jupiter is 1,300 Earths.
Let's do a clean cut. Jupiter is the size of 1,300 Earths, and Jupiter's hurricane is the size of a little over 1 Earth.
Yeah.
Great.
Big storm.
Okay, and I just did a Google on Neptune. Neptune has some of the most violent and extreme weather in the solar system. It has supersonic winds, the fastest sustained winds in the solar system reaching speeds of up to 1,300 miles an hour. Massive storms. The planet experiences huge, dark, anti-cyclonic storms, some the size of Earth, that sweep through the atmosphere and change shape or disappear over time. It has methane clouds, high altitude cirrus clouds made of frozen methane and are known to produce methane snow.
So cold.
So cold. Despite being incredibly distant and receiving very little sunlight, Neptune generates its own internal heat, which scientists believe helps power these intense atmospheric dynamics. So even though it is extremely cold and very far from the sun, little influence, it does have what it needs to create some pretty severe weather. One of the most intense weathers we are aware of in our solar system. Methane snow sounds horrible.
That's going to be my band name.
Yeah, it's actually kind of sick. Okay, those are my hypotheticals.
Is it time to do a mash, or do you have anything else for me?
I just want to say for the record that I don't like that our water is like an internal system and the water that we have now is the water that we've had forever. That freaks me out.
No.
No?
New water gets added.
Where's that come from?
Meteorites.
What?
Yeah, a lot of them have water in them because they're like frozen and they have ice. They think that's actually where our water came from.
Well, that's
was
fun.
the meteoric bombardment.
Meteoric bombardment's kind of sick too.
Yeah.
Just as a phrase. So, okay, well, you say that it gets added, but that's not like a regular occurrence now.
Not as regular as it once was, but it still happens pretty frequently. Like things are hitting Earth all the time.
They are,
They're just
but
too
not
small to like
adding measurable amounts of water.
No, it's like it stays pretty consistent. We lose water too. It like evaporates clean out of the atmosphere sometimes.
Yeah.
Gets blown off by solar winds, what have you. But we also
gets
get
PFAS mixed into it.
Yeah, but we also get new water added back from the solar system.
The solar system.
When we pass through the cloud tail of a comet, scoop up their water.
Interesting. But the majority of our water is water.
Most of our water at this point is pretty static, yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. That's all.
Before we start our mash, should we let the people know that this is not going to be our last episode? We will have one final episode to sort of recap the season, talk about what we've learned along the way. So
what good school system doesn't end the year with some good I was going to say standardized testing. But I'll take a pizza party over. No, I don't want to take a test.
Let's buy a water slide. We said no pop quizzes.
No pop quizzes, but if it's an open book test, I think I should be able to pass.
Yeah. Well, at that point, what is the point of an open book test?
Life is an open book test, babe.
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't.
So what's the point of life? I'm pretty sure is what you just said.
No.
Matt doesn't believe. Okay. Is there anything else that people need to know about weather?
It all comes down to heat.
And I've always said that. Let's do a mash. Who are we playing for today?
No. We didn't have any real standouts. We had Ralphie kind of as the main character, but I think we've done him before.
I know. And I meant to do a list of like, who have we done, who have we not done? But
yeah. Have we done Tim?
Goofing off. I don't know. know that we've done Tim. I feel like he's been in something before,
Yeah.
but I don't know that we've done
Well,
one for him.
if we
He's a
haven't done Tim, we're gonna
soft,
do Tim again.
sweetie boy. Yeah.
I love him. He's an artist.
Yeah.
He
He's
stays
just
out of the
gentle.
shenanigans, but he,
Yeah.
like, is a good friend to
That's what I was
everyone.
gonna say. He's a fierce friend.
Yeah.
He doesn't get sassy. He doesn't participate in the bickering. No, he's a good guy. And I mean that. Okay. So, MASH for Tim. Who's playing? Who's in the space?
Who is in space? Girls and boys.
I want him to have like a Michelle Obama type, just like strong, educated, but like a
Ugh.
fantastic partner.
Who is the actress who plays
I don't know anybody.
the Eliza sister? The Eliza sisters in Hamilton.
Schuyler sisters or
That
Eliza?
I think she might be Eliza. Or is she Angelica? Eliza.
Philippa Sue. Okay, so Renee Goldsberry was Angelica, Philippa Sue was Eliza, and Jasmine Jones was Peggy. And Peggy.
Who was Eliza?
Eliza was Philippa Sue.
And who is Angelica?
Renee Goldsberry.
Renee Goldsberry.
Okay,
Yeah, I love that actress.
fantastic.
She's been in a bunch of stuff and she's fantastic.
Great. Love. I every time I go to name a woman, I just think of concepts.
Concepts of a woman.
Yeah. Well, anytime we do this, I'm like, I don't know who specifically, but like,
Okay, well, give me a vibe and we'll see if we can brainstorm one.
okay, I think the vibe for him is, I mean, well, I said already, it's like a Michelle Obama.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was going with Renee because I feel like she's an actress, she's artsy, but also she is like a strong, independent woman, has her own career going. But like, you can't split up the Obamas. So,
No, I would never. And this is always with all due respect to any person living or dead, their significant other. We're not going to split up the Obamas. The country couldn't take it.
Also, Michelle is not like, she'll just whip that man into shape. She won't get rid of it.
Yeah.
She'll be like,
And I think she already has.
Yeah.
Like, she's heavily invested in this person.
I love her, like the pizza place anecdote where they're like, it was one of her ex-boyfriends, and he was like, if you married him, you could be working his pizza. She was like, if I'd married him, he could be president.
Iconic. Absolutely iconic.
Know your power, girl.
That very much. Is Tim totally straight?
Might not be.
He might not be. Tim, I think, could also be single by choice. I think Tim has just like a lot of internal peace and has like really fulfilling relationships, but he might not be in the dating scene.
He might not be. Might not be for him.
I also want him with like a larger than life, just over the top, hilarious, big personality. Because I think he could handle it.
Lil Nas X?
Sure. You know what I mean? I just feel like he's
Yeah.
so steadfast and is just like a really supportive person that like he does not feel threatened by
Honestly,
the carrying
I think
on
he'd be great
at
for Lil
all.
Nas. I think Lil Nas could use a ground.
Okay.
Someone
I'm not
to-
involved in his personal life like that. Does he need some
He's
help?
Been going through it lately, it seems.
Oh no.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's pour
He
a
was,
drink later and talk about it.
Arrested in LA, just like walking like naked
Just
down
because?
the street.
Yeah.
I think drugs were involved.
No.
Yeah. Which like party hardy, but like know your lines and know your limits.
Don't be doing craziness in public, please.
Yeah. Not as a celebrity, right? Like you just can't get away with it.
Or like anybody. Okay. What's he driving? What's our boy Tim driving?
He is driving a car.
He is like a sedan, like a sensible Ford Focus.
Yeah.
What's like an artsy nerd boy car?
Vintage Beetle.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What about like what's like a Gremlin? Is that a vehicle? What am I thinking of?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Hold on. Yeah. An AMC Gremlin. They were produced in the 70s. I think that is like the ultimate kind of like classic comic book kind of guy car.
It's a cute little subcompact.
Okay. Can I put it on the list, please?
Put it on the list.
Thank you. You looked at me like I was crazy.
I've never heard of it. I was like, Gremlins the movie? Is there like a car in that I should be familiar with?
Colors.
Orange.
Nice. Like a big bright one. I think like a teal. Obviously. Chartreuse for the people. I have learned how to spell it. Chartreuse.
Yeah.
That E, that first E was always hanging me up.
Try screwing you up.
All right. What is Tim working on?
I think he's a comic book artist.
Yeah. I think he's also like an animator.
Producer for the Matter School Bus.
Yeah. He's also
Have you noticed
an
that all
art
the
teacher.
producers look like grown-up versions
I
of the
have.
kids?
I love that they don't say their names, but I'm like, that's Tim. That
Yeah.
is Wanda and Tim.
Yeah.
I want him to be an art teacher. I think he had a really great time in Miss Frizzle's class and he was inspired. 0 kids.
4.
4 kids.
Well,
12.
I don't think he's going to be going around
He
having
seems-
tons of babies.
I don't think he is either. You never know.
He could have 12.
He could become a good family man.
Yeah.
Okay. Tim's living in upstate New York. Tim is living like near Joshua Tree.
Sure.
I can imagine him in sort of like a solitudinal kind of.
I feel like we should give him somewhere remote. Also, like he moved. He's an expat. Just like does his art.
We're not using the word expat anymore. We are using the word immigrant to try and normalize it.
Thank you for that.
Happy to help.
Yeah, I like the idea that he's immigrated to a different place.
Okay. What continent are we thinking?
I'm
Europe?
leaning between
Africa?
like South
Asia?
America and Europe.
Okay, South America. Oh, like Bolivia.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
And
Are you
like
ready to
I would put rural on there because like I'm
Okay.
sure Bolivia has like bigger towns and stuff, but my vibe that I'm getting is more
Okay. Yeah, he's like more off grid.
Yeah.
Great. Cool. All right. Let's see what our boy's up to. Matt? Matt?
Stop it. Start it right now.
Matt, our machine is broken.
It's happening.
Okay, hold on. Just come off, please.
Gonna open a new tab and copy everything over.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Let me just do this. Okay. Okay. Are we ready to predict the future?
Let's do it.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Okie dokie. Congratulations. Tim has ended up with Lil Nas X. They have 0 children and an orange Ford Focus parked outside of their shack in upstate New York. Somehow, this is now Tim's life as an animator.
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it. Look, I'm always get a little bummed out when people have shacks, but I like to imagine them more as like a rural cottage.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think of them as like
a full-blown shanty.
Shack down on the, side of the highway that hasn't been touched in 50 years.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't need that for them. But Lil Nas X is a great poll. Hopefully he can help that fine young man with whatever he's got going on. 0 kids is great. And animation. Maybe he did go on to like work on the 2nd season of the show that we've been watching that I definitely know the title of. Beautiful.
Well, I think that wraps us up for the day.
Crazy.
We've officially reached the end of season 1. So I have no episode to say we'll be next with, except for we'll be back with our special episode recapping the season and finding out what Sarah has learned.
So much and yet nothing at all.
Have a great week, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, that's a wrap on the App Session for this week. If you enjoyed the episode, subscribe and share. We can be found on Instagram and TikTok at A Girl and Her Gay Watch and on Blue Sky at The Girl and Her Gay Pod.
If you'd like to get in direct contact with us to ask a question or submit a correction, send us an email at agirlandhergaywatch@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you.